My next patron question is from Andrew, who wanted to know what are the differences between a TV special and a TV movie. Do you think feature-length TV show pilots also count as movies? So obviously the first thing that would differentiate the two is the length. A television special is usually about 20 to 40-ish minutes, depending on the time slot the channel wants to fit it in. It can be its own standalone production, like the various Peanut specials, or it can be a special episode of a show, like maybe a big crossover event. For example, the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour specials are about 49 minutes each, and not generally counted as episodes of Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius and the Fairly OddParents. However, another famous crossover event, The Jetsons Meet the Flintstones, runs 92 minutes. Throw in the usual commercial breaks and it would have filled a 2-hour time slot. So that is regarded as a television movie rather than a mere special. An interesting case that highlights the difference between television specials and movies is with the recent South Park productions. Paramount Plus announced that Trey Parker and Matt Stone will be making 14 South Park movies for the streaming service. That raised some eyebrows and led to a lot of questions over whether these would be in the vein of the theatrical movie Bigger, Long, and Uncut, or a three-parter like Imaginationland. However, Parker later clarified that this was not quite accurate, stating in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter that with Viacom we realized we can make them as long or as short as we needed, and then they went and called them movies. They are the ones who said we are giving them 14 movies in 7 years. All I can say is, for me personally, I'm 52 years old. I've made 3 movies in my life, so you do the math. Although I thought Trey Parker had directed 4 movies. Which one is he not counting? These South Park specials on Paramount Plus have so far run about 47 to 62 minutes, fitting with Parker's definition that they're not quite feature films by the usual tradition and run any length they please. The animated Diary of a Wimpy Kid adaptations on Disney Plus are also a curious lot. The first of these has a runtime of about 58 minutes, so I consider it a television special. However, the next one, Roderick Rules, is 75 minutes. Meanwhile, Cabin Fever has a length of 62 minutes. So those two would be movies in my eyes. Something that does occasionally happen is if a television pilot is produced but nobody picks it up, a network could decide to air it as a one-off special. For example, in 1984, a pilot was produced for a possible MASH spin-off series about Radar O'Reilly titled Walter. CBS did not pick up the show, but they still decided to air the pilot during the summer as a CBS special presentation. If you're wondering what the Television Academy constitutes a television movie to be eligible in that category for the Emmys, it has to run at least 75 minutes. Curiously, even though variety specials get their own category and animated specials can compete alongside other animated programs in that category, there does not appear to be a category for narrative specials under 75 minutes. Regarding the second part of the question, if feature-length television pilots can be considered movies, I think some of them could. One interesting example is with Columbo, which is commonly referred to as a television series, but not when it originally aired. Columbo initially aired as part of a rotating series of shows titled the NBC Mystery Movie, and as such, the episodes were typically feature-length rather than the hour that dramas usually were. Steven Spielberg, who directed one of the early Columbo installments, even treated that job as if he were making a movie rather than just an ordinary television episode, and his work on that would eventually lead to Duel and other projects. Over in the UK, programs like Sharp and Sherlock aired as TV movies with usually 3 a year. You also have something like the series finale of MASH. Titled Goodbye, Farewell, and Amen, it runs 2 hours, with Alan Alda directing it like he would one of his feature films, including not having a laugh track. For the rerun packages of the series sent out to stations, 20th Century Fox Television did not originally include Goodbye, Farewell, and Amen, although it eventually became part of the syndication packages, likely due to audience demand. Meanwhile, on Disney Plus, it is given its own separate page instead of being included with the rest of the show. I remarked in another video recently that the episodes that comprise the 4th season of Stranger Things are more like television movies to me rather than episodes. The final episode even runs 2 hours and 42 minutes. That's longer than several Best Picture winners. So as you can see, length is the main deciding factor for me, but there are obviously other reasons as well. Thank you for the question, Andrew.